Hey, what's up, guys? So, for those of you who've been following the channel for the past like 3 or 4 weeks, know that I've been trying really hard to make the new EX9 Alter S work in some like crazy way, because there's a lot of power there. Well, I took the most recent list, the one I've been putting a lot of time into, here to Eagle X last Monday, so yesterday for me, but whenever you guys watch this, you know, it was the 14th. This is game 3, round 1, and I'm going to show you the last game I played in round 3. And we're going to see the two differences of the deck. So here, we start off with an Omnimon and the new tie-in mat, which is really good. And here my opponent is on Purple Hybrid, which was a pretty bad matchup for the list previously until I made a lot of changes. Those of you can see it, not only am I on a different egg now, the Draw Cormon egg, but I'm also running, I think that's the BT 11, BT 13 Agumon. I can't remember which set it's from, but it's the one that reveals top 4. Add a Omnimon or Greymon to hand, and then add a Tamer to hand. We'll go ahead and Wisteria, which is another new card. We're going to go ahead and add the Omnimon Alter S to hand. I feel pretty decent. We're not giving our opponent extra memory. They're on 1. They do have the boost, which they're going to have to end up using, which feels good. And then they pass us to 1 using the boost. That feels really bad for our opponent. They're obviously missing like a key piece or 2. From this position, honestly, we don't have to pressure them too much. Their hand's probably very reactive, and staying in the back and trying to set up for a big turn next may not be too bad. Maybe just like playing out another Tamer if I have one. Again, I'm sorry for the glare. I was playing with my light on this time because I had been a little sick recently and I just didn't feel like being in the dark because I had been in the dark for a while at this point. Play out the old BT17 tie and mat, the one that gives your Omnimon like basically blitz. They end up promoting not getting any bonus off of that, swing into security, and they hit a Metal Garurumon, which I believe is the only card in my hand that I was missing. So they do die. They elect not to pitch anything for the QB, which shows how bad their current hand is. They draw for 2 into the Dusk. And he ends up changing one of the dual Tamers to black. It doesn't matter which one, as long as there is a red and blue source on field, my options are still very good. He swings in a Volder, mills 3. We are running the Security Greymon, or not Security, the Secret Greymon. There we go. From BT17 as well. Though Security Greymon also fits what we're looking for. Again, this deck will probably change a lot coming through in the next like 10 days with BT22. There's a lot of support coming out for the deck. It's going to change the way it's currently run. I actually wanted to try and make it work as a current. He does not delete the Balder, and he instead goes into Arrestor, swings in, and gets another check-in. We would have liked him to kill us, or I mean to die in security, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and pop the Wisteria, go to 4. And we need exactly 2 memory to do the full combo, but unfortunately, we're going to have to pass after this point, but we're in a pretty good spot nonetheless. Because we have access to combo to keep turn, and then we can DNA into an Alter S, swing in using the BT17 tie and mat, deal 2 checks, and then recover, and then spit out both bodies again, stunning both of the Tamers. And that puts him in a pretty bad spot, honestly, so that feels pretty good. I'm currently just doing the math because I'm trying to figure out the line that I want to take, and I wasn't certain because I think I also have the Adventure Greymon in hand, and I'm like, well, maybe I could, instead of DNAing into the Alter S, force him to swing, but it still gives him the ability to use the other Tamer. Actually, no, it wouldn't, because we would force the Alter S to swing in, and then we would ace Omnimon ace, but it's fine. And then BT17 Metal Brew effect, go into the War Gray effect. We're just going to go ahead and do nothing. And then swing in for a check at 11. a bit greedy. He could have like an ace or something, but also if he did, I was like kind of fine with it because I had the security, the Adventure Greymon, like I mentioned, which would give me an ace play on the crackback, which he had ended up. I can't remember if it was. Well, I won't spoil it in case it's this game. And then we DNA into Alter S, swing in. After deleting his everything, he's going to gain a memory from the Koichi inherit, which is a bit unfortunate because it does force us to pass turn. We do have lethal if he doesn't have the Koichi inherit there available to him. We get the extra Koromon because that's a new body, which feels good. Sorry about that. Anyways, here he's just asking a little bit about the what the Tai and Matt do, which is just give pseudo blitz basically, which doesn't target specifically Omnimon. It targets Omnimon in name, which is really cool. And then end of attack here, I'm gonna go ahead and spit out the level 6 and the metal. I was a little concerned about doing it, but I figured it was the best play, especially putting out at 1 because we can stun the middle tamer here, and then just recover the Alter S to top of security, which feels really good because now he can't recover the Duskmon from trash, which is their best way to recover right now, aside from the Calling from Darkness one of. So it kind of limits him a little bit, especially without an extra rookie. So he has to have Duskmon in hand, as well as I'm threatening Ace. So if he does go pitch off of the Koichi, gain a memory, Digivolve for 2 on top of a memory Koichi, he swings in, I bottom deck the Velger, because it specifies on the A specifies names, not colors, unlike Alter S does. And that does leave him at 0 memory with basically nothing available to him besides like a Rival's Barrage. And even then, I can just pop a rookie out and feel pretty good on the crackback. He does end up using Darktron Ace though, which puts him in a very interesting position. We're going to go ahead and Digivolve in the back to the Agu. Thinking back, if he Darktron Ace, was I in an okay spot? Maybe. He pops both bodies. Possible bodies. Honestly, I might not be in an okay spot. I might be in a pretty bad spot. Who knows? But with Darktron Ace, we're in a pretty okay area now. We can just taunt it and force it to attack. Unfortunately, we also have lethal this turn if we have the pieces in hand. We don't, however. So we do end up playing the Tamer, the new one. That lets us add back from trash, one of the pieces that we definitely needed. We are having a hard time finding our Metal Garurumon, which I think is pretty common for this deck currently, unfortunately. Again, we are lacking searchers. And one of the problems with this deck is that we are lacking heavy searchers. I'll talk about that a little bit more when I'll show you guys the round 2 game. I thought it was going to be round 3, but after looking over it again, I realized it was round 2, not the round 3 match. Round 3 was like completely fine. I think I just lost round 3 because of like me just playing the deck poorly. We end up using the option here because the math ends up working out completely nominally, so it doesn't matter which way. We're going to probably taunt with the Adventure Greymon because we do have a copy of the Adventure Tamer L. 2 copies to be exact. We'll keep turn by spending one of them and then probably play out the Metal Garurumon or the War Grey depending on which one we have. 0. And then we will go ahead and stun the middle tamer again. Again, we're locking down his recursion. We are not going to allow this guy to get his Duskmon back. Absolutely not in this household. And at 3 security, we feel pretty good, especially because we're going to remove 2 of his checks right now, putting him at 0. This is the most obvious Omni Ace of my life. He ends up thinking about it for a little bit. He ends up promoting, getting an Uko off the Uko search. The other two were kind of just were literally whiffs. He could not add either of them, I believe. And then hatches, swings in with the Darktra, not using the memory gain off the Koichi, which will leave him at 0. We blast into the Omni Ace. We bottom deck level 3 to prevent the Cubimon effect from triggering, and then we delete the level 6, overflowing for 4, going to 0. I should have definitely asked if this thing had protection, because I wasn't sure. I wasn't 100% sure if it had protection or not, so I was like, fuck me. As I did it mid, like, target, but luckily it did not. That does end up coming to bite me in the butt a little bit later, actually, because in round 2, I try to bounce something that I actually can't bounce. So I was like, fuck me, lol. From here, he has a couple Gallantmon plays, however, none of them actually save him. He does end up misplaying as well, which we'll go over here in just a second. However, it doesn't matter. After the game, we end up talking a little bit about it, and we realized even if he played it properly, there was still no out for his current situation. He ends up thinking on it for a little bit. He ends up playing the BT13 Rush Gallant for 5. Because we don't have a lot of cards in trash right now. I've done a good job of stunning his Recursion Tamer, preventing him from getting his stuff back, even if he wants to. And my trash is just pretty light, especially because I keep adding cards back from it, which feels good. The BT13 one does end up popping the smaller one first, which I end up asking about here, which ends up screwing him over because he has to pop the Greymon and then it passes turn, and then I swing in for game. He had the new promo, I think it's the promo Gallant, the red-yellow one, that would have popped the Omni first. He would have been able to keep turn. He swings in, it would die in security because it's a 15k Alter S, and then he could have played out this Rush Gallant for, like, let's just say 3. However, even from 3 memory, I can still win next turn as long as I have any Omnimon, any Wargrey, and any Metal Garurumon in hand, which we're going to add back one of the 3 from my trash, and the rest of them I have been searching for pretty consistently. So I realistically have one of enough copies in hand. The way that I would win is I would promote the Agu, and then I would just play out a Metal Garurumon, Digivolve into Wargrey, end of turn DNA, use the Blitz from the Tamer, swing in, trash top card security when attacking, and then deal the final check, which would have ended the game anyways. But that's the game 1. That's the game 1. That's the round 1 that I ended up taking. Let's go ahead and talk about round 2. Game 2. We're against Megadra. Round 2, game 2, we ended up losing game 1. We start off pretty strong with just an Evo for 1 in the back to an Uko. They end up going to training. Bottom decking a Gravity Crush. So we know there is one Gravity Crush at the bottom of the deck now, which feels pretty good. Uko effect, we're going to go ahead and real top 3. We'll take the... Got some good options here. If we take the Metal Garurumon, that means that's the piece we need. We probably already have an Omni of some kind in hand. We play 7 Omnimon, so realistically we have at least 1 in hand. We're debating the swing, realistically, because we could hit like another option in security. However, leaving up the body also just ends up giving them something to delete with their effects. While it is nice to stop them from milling, they will still gain the memory off deleting because their deck also does that, which is a little unfortunate. So we end up swinging, getting the draw, it dies in security, which is probably the ideal, exact best thing for us to have happen to us. And then we play out the Tamer that just lets us draw a card. It's so nice as an early game play. Like, typically in the past, you would play out the Tamer and you would just do, -1 card. And it's just purely for setup, which feels bad. However, here, playing it out, it does let us go just completely neutral while still setting up, which feels fantastic. Something of note is that in game 1 we ended up losing because we had a bunch of the secret rare Greymon from BT17 out. I think we had 2 of them over the course of the game. and they just would not die in security. No matter what I did, they refused to die in security, and my opponent would not delete them no matter what I did until the turn that they killed me. So that was truly, truly tragic. I had like 3 tamers in hand that I just did not want to hard play. So I think over the course of that game, I had like 1 or 2 tamers max, with like 3 more in hand, that I was like, please God, if any of these come out, like we could do so much with like an extra like 8 to 12 memory a turn, but that's okay. I ended up losing, I think, because I really just set up too much. I think there was the precipice turn where I could have for sure set up a ace target, which I know Megadra has a little bit of issue against, but it's fine. I think I just misplayed game 1. Okay, a couple of things. We're gonna pause real quick. A couple of things I want to talk about. One, I think at this point there's a Jack raid in Trash as well. So we know there's a bottom decked Gravity Crush. There's a in Trash Jack raid. That's 2 of their at most 5. Most decks play 4 though. 3 Grav Crush, 1 Jack raid. Memory gain cards, so we can play a little bit safer knowing that. As well as he ended up swinging into security. And one of the downsides of playing against Megadra is I can never tell if them dying in security is a win for us or a loss for us. Because here, they still gain 2 memory on the deletion of their body, as well as then play out a card that's going to let them search. They're obviously suffering a little bit from lack of playables, because they end up using the Geel X to search. They'll take the Megidramon, and then they will go ahead and play out the Drageel. And this is about where I left off with the recording last time, because of the fact that I messed up, and was not recording my voice, unfortunately, for the latter half of this video. I had to blow my nose, and I was like, oh, I don't want my viewers to have to listen to that. I blew my nose, but then I proceeded to not unmute. He pitches a Gallant, which is, like, good to know. From here, we have a couple plays. I think we end up going for the Adventure one. Yeah, we end up going for the Adventure Greymon. Target the Geel X, because that's the one that we kind of want him to keep around if he's going to not die in security, and then we will Digivolve into the Alterous for 3 after keeping turn by spinning the Tamer. And then we'll pop the Drageel. That way he doesn't get that juicy inherit, as well as give it access for like Geel X and stuff. We do have an ace target in hand. I know we have the Blitz. However, Blitz is not super useful here. He's asking about inherits and stuff right now. It doesn't matter. He swings in. We're gonna elect not to use the Blitz Greymon Ace effect because it just feels like it's a juicy target for him to delete, and we're not really getting that much value off of it. Yes, it gives us the ability to just hard play a Metal Garurumon for turn, and then end of turn DNA with the guy. But we can also just do that already, so we don't feel pressured to Blitz, if that makes sense. Because Alterous lets us Digivolve into a Greymon card and name whenever we play out a Garurumon, or a Garurumon Digivolves, or we play out a a Tai Kamiya Tamer. Plus, he ends up calling for Darkness, so I was like, this was the correct play, 100%. Whether or not it was, I'm not sure. We're only at 3 security now. I know you can't see it from this angle, unfortunately. But we're only at 3 security right now. Hitting the Tamer, though, feels really good. Getting back 4 memory as a possibility next turn, as well as getting back the Wargrave from Trash, feels great. One of the problems with this game, however, is that I'm just lacking pieces, I believe, in hand. I'm just lacking the ability to draw consistently. I'm struggling with it. Here, we're in a position where this is the best turn for an Adventure Greymon right now. However, we won't be able to keep turn with it. Yes, we could Blitz, but then that doesn't resolve the current issue of keeping the guy out. This is where we really want the Crest in hand, but I know we don't have the Crest Garurumon in hand. In fact, I don't think we saw Crest at all during the tournament last night, which was devastating, because there are a lot of matchups where I'm like, man, I really wish this was Crest. However, it just doesn't interact well with the rest of the cards, because you want the option instead of the Crest. It just does better than the Crest does. As well as the Crest, it's just a liability on field from battle, which is what his deck can do. He gains raid. There's so many decks that have the ability to swing into your level 6s. So having a level 7 ace available saves you a lot of the time. even as a means of like protecting you from the battle. Even if they're immune, you can still just stop the battle because you can DNA Ace into a new Digimon and the battle stops altogether, which is fantastic. You don't have that luxury with level 5s or with level 6s of blitzing Cress. I'm trying to figure out the ideal play. We swung in to get a draw. We're looking for pieces. We're looking for pieces, and we're trying to figure out like what to do. I know that he's got 2 Gravity Crush and a Drac Raid in trash, and then 1 Gravity Crush at the bottom of the deck right now. So he's got to draw. He has to have 1 in hand, and then he needs to draw the other one in order to save himself. Because we're gonna stun his guy, and we're gonna set up double Ace. 4 memory on his turn, stun a body, making it useless. I mean, 3 memory on his turn, stun a body. So double Ace, a body that can't suspend, 2 Gravity Crush, and a Jack Raid in trash right now. I'm like, this is like a 1 game in my mind. So, and he's got no training, no mem boost or anything like that. Reboot, the guy's also 9k, so it's a little bit more difficult to delete. However, in my original recording, I mentioned War Growl X. It's something that I did forget about. That is the only card that lets him delete me currently. But again, only gets rid of 1 of the aces. It doesn't get rid of both aces. So he still has to try and find some ways to get around the current situation at hand. I don't know if I was muted during the portion where I talked about how forgetting about protection can screw you over, but that also comes up here, so you'll see. Promotes, gets the Geel X search, and he will Digivolve for 2 into Growl. He's going to go ahead and draw in the mill 2. He's also playing the Digimon that I designed. I think that a lot of people kind of moved away from that card. I'm not sure how good it is. I never saw him use it a single time in this match. He goes into the Growl X and then he pitches a card. 1 Grav Crush, 1 Jack Raid. My apologies. 1 Grav Crush, 1 Jack Raid. I think his list only plays 3 Grav Crush though. I think that's the typical is 3 Grav Crush, 1 Jack Raid. So that's the first of his remaining 2 Gravity Crush. We do know that 1 was on the bottom. 2. He has Raid and Retaliation now. Yep, and then he pops the 10k or less, which will delete the Alterous mode. I just recognized something. We'll go over it when we get there. He may have had something, which is like completely fine, but we'll see. He's at 1 memory now. He's got Raid and Retaliation. And he's got 3 security left. So, it actually was probably the play. I do think I misplayed here. So maybe it wasn't the deck's fault, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll discuss it after it happens. At this point, he has drawn the other Gravity Crush, like almost 100%, because he bottom decked it really early on into the game, and he has done enough cycling that I believe he should have it. He's talking about trying to get like lucky currently. So here he raids into the Metal Garurumon, we blast into the Omni Ace, and in this position, we end up trying to bottom deck the guy, but he's like, oh, I have the protection from being bottom decked, and so I end up deleting it instead. I could have target his Digimon, attempt to bottom deck all level 5s, delete his level 3. The attack stops because I DNA'd. He now has a suspended level 5. He can go into a Gallant and pop my Digimon, which is unfortunate. But he can't kill me this turn. Oh, well, he probably could actually with an extra, like, 2 memory there. But I'm asking if I can delete it, because I end up deleting it, and then bottom decking the rookie. He gains 2 memory off the deletion, and he ends up playing out. He ends up getting back the Gallant, and then getting back a guy. And he's asking about overflow, he's asking about blocker and stuff like that. He ends up playing out Rush Gill. Digivolves into Gill X. Okay. I was wrong. He did not get the next Gravity Crush yet. So I'm like, okay, fuck. It's still in deck. We know where it is now. I'm praying that he doesn't grab it. He draw and then mill 2. I'm 100% sure that is the last Gravity Crush. So he's at 1 memory. He could have Digivolved. Delete my guy. Digivolve for 3. He was at 1. He'd go to 2. Delete my guy. Game back. Go to 3. Gain a memory from the Gill X. And then the Growl X. Go to 5. So he'd be able to do pretty much all of this. Because he was at 3. He'd be able to do all of this, but he'd be at 0 right now. With a Gallant on field. And no guy. Which, I mean, maybe matters. He ended up drawing the Gravity Crush, by the way. It is currently in hand. He's already used 1 Gravity Crush, but now he gains another 2 memory, which I'm like, damn, okay, so he hit the last 2. It's unfortunate, but I mean, there's something you can do about that. Goes into War Growl for 3. Gets Raid and Retaliation. And from here, he'd actually be at -1 memory. But he would also have 2 bodies on board. I would gain back a card from trash. I would have to have everything. Yeah, I think it for sure was the play to keep level 5 on board and not let it be deleted. So that is a misplay. I can't say whether or not for certain that deleting it lost me the game or not. I will say that I think it was the wrong play for sure, however. Because after looking back on it, he would have exactly 1 less memory. Because we did the hard play a level 3 instead of getting it for free, which would mean that even though he was at 5 memory, hard playing level 3, get the body back out, would put him to 2. Because he was at 1, he Digivolves for 3 into a Gallant to delete the level 5, getting back 5 memories, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he had the Gill X and the Growl X, which would give him 2 more memory, putting to 5. And he plays out level 3, and he does his full combo, but instead of being at 3, which puts him at 0, he's at 2, which puts him at 1, even with both Gravity Crushes left, meaning that he couldn't go into the Growl here. And instead, he'd be at 2 memory, and he has to use... he swings in with the Growl X. That's a check. Gains back a memory. Plays out a rookie. Swings in with the Rush Gill. That's another check. That's 2 checks of my remainder. 2 checks. And then he plays out the Rush for 3, swings for game. Okay, so it didn't matter. Okay, I had to think it through real quick, so you guys will see here currently. He's trying to figure out the exact number. He basically Digivolves for 1. Yeah. Swings with Megadra for 2 checks. I block because it's got Raid Retal, but there's no point in not. I'll go ahead and he deletes it anyways. He'll gain back a memory, and then Overflow 5 goes to 5. Then he plays out the Rush Gill from trash. He doesn't have another Rush Gill in trash. The rest are like in hand or deck currently. and then swings in for 1 check, leaving me on 0 security, and then he hard plays a guy for 3. So, was it better? Yes, absolutely, especially if he doesn't hit the second gravity crush, leaving him at 0 instead of 1, and forcing him to use a Gallant to delete my guy by devolving it, leaving the body on field 2. Overall, would have 100% been better. However, it is what it is. He did get through 2 ace targets, one of them getting off successfully, and most of his memory gain in trash, just 2 rookies on field. I feel like there's not much I could have done in this matchup, unfortunately, because they have ways to remove me by battle, which I can ace them, but if they're also immune to being bounced, then they are deletion targets on board, and I delete them, they just get their stuff back and gain memory. If I elect not to delete them, let's say they have 2 bodies and I end up deleting the other body, that doesn't matter too much, like in this scenario, they're still able to remove my ace somewhat consistently from that level 5 position, and that's devastating. And we're fucked. And we always have to block against the Megadra because it does just kill me anyways, because again, our Omni has no protection. And so that brings us to the deck as a whole, as well as the list as a whole. We're going to go ahead and talk about the list here now. Let me just go ahead and pull that up. So here's the list I ended up taking. I think I'm really happy with it. There is some stuff I could change. Like, a friend of mine keeps telling me to take out the Alter-S. Alterius, I mean. Which is definitely a potential. But if you do, then you might as well take out the level 6s here, because there's no way to ever, like, cheat them out and get good value out of them. Literally ever. So, just cutting them entirely is, like, the ideal. And then you're just playing the BT17 Omni deck, which has the host of problems that I mentioned prior, which is, hey, we are not good at searching in this deck. We're really bad at searching in this deck. Like, giga bad. The best way that we have searching is the 2-cost option that lets us play out this Agumon. There are other Agumon that search, but none of them are good. All of them are very, very bad. All of them are very, very bad. The deck got a huge upgrade. The Alter-S says, hey, if you keep turn, me plus any other of your 6 remaining Omnis in hand wins the game. It wins the game entirely by itself, which is fantastic. You swing at the Alter-S, you trash a card, you deal a check, you unsuspend. You swing in one more time, you deal a 3rd check, you play them both out, then you go into another Alter-S or an Omni Ace. You swing in, you trash the last card, the second to last card of security, you do the last check, then you unsuspend, you swing in for game. That's it. Once you have those 2 on field, as long as you can keep turn, you have won the game. And there's an argument, for sure, that we just go all in on Wisteria. We go all in on Uko. We play just this Agumon. We say, fuck the Miraculous Mega Knight. We say, hey, we only want, like, some of these tamers. We want these tamers, and we want ways to, like, cheat them out. Maybe. Maybe you're just trying to look for, like, a bunch of memory. And we're saying, hey, once we get a way to get this guy and this guy out, and keep turn, we have won the game. As you saw against the Purple Hybrid match that I showed, the only reason that we couldn't keep turn and win there was because he had ability to gain a memory, which can fuck you. And cause some issues. However, I just didn't want to build that kind of deck. I really wanted to make the EX9 stuff work. I think the Crash Garurumon and the Blitz Greymon are insanely strong cards. I think they're crazy, crazy strong. However, in the deck from EX3, I think it is. Let's see. EX3. Okay, is there not a dash here? We're just going to do EX3 like so. Okay, yeah. I think it's EX3. I could be super giga wrong. I am super giga wrong. Is it 4? Whatever won the Black Agumons and Garurumons. So yeah, this one. EX4. This deck sucks. This deck sucks. The searchers search for both bodies. However, unfortunately, they top deck, which leads to scenarios where Man, okay, I just need like a piece or two, and I'm winning the game. I'm gonna go ahead and Agumon with like the Miraculous Courage, Mega Knight Courage option, because we have Tamer out. Reveal top 3, Tamer option. Oh, okay. I mean, I like that I'm gonna get those, but now that it was just a 2-cost rookie that did nothing, basically, or a 3-cost rookie that did nothing, basically, and I have another 3-cost rookie in hand that I could play out that does literally nothing. And I don't play enough level 4s to consistently make use of it, or like I have like portions of the line if I'm playing the full EX4 suite of cards, so I have like double Garurumon, but I have no Greymon, and so I would just pass turn. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Like, it's so sad that there are quite literally no good searchers, and there's also no great way to cheat out Ty and Mats. None whatsoever. Like, yes, Security Greymon works, and the Secret Rare Greymon also works, and the Miraculous Mega Knight also works, but 2 of them require you to get lucky and have them in your security, and then another one requires you to get deleted at some point. It's just not great. It's just not good. In the current environment, where even against Purple Hybrid, I was like struggling a little bit. I was like, man, okay, I need to like... Once I was set up, I was good, but I really need to set up like pretty fucking quick in order to survive. I'm in an environment where my opponent cheated out like 9 memory in a turn, and killed a level 5, got aced, I wiped their board, they came back with more memory, and rush, swung in again, gained a total of extra 4 memory from hand for 2 cards that cost them 0 memory, and it's just like, yeah, dog, we're not competing with that right now. We're not competing with that right now. There's nothing I can do against that right now. Like, maybe in another world, for sure, with this list, but currently no. And so now we have to talk about, okay, well, like the memory stuff that you talked about. And that's true. You could do that. However, even Megadra has trouble making more than 1/6 in a single turn if you take away their on-deletion stuff. So we don't have any way to on-deletion gain memory. Big red flag. So even if we play Gravity Crushes, we have no way to get on-deletion gain memory. Okay, that sucks. We also have no way to get extra level 3s out. So let's think about the world. We can't play trainings, because if we go up the line, okay, cool, we have to go up the full line, go to Digivolve for 2, then Digivolve for 3, and then Digivolve for 3 into the Wargray. That's so sad. So sad. And even if we end on Alterus, which is an option, or the Wargarurumon Sagittarius mode, which is an option, and we play that as like a we Digivolve really quick up, which was like the prior list of this was like the adventure package and stuff. We Digivolve up into the guy, and then once we get one out, we could just hard play the other, and then that Alterus or Sagittarius will Digivolve into the other one, and then we can like DNA into like using Crest or like the Blitz or the blah blah blah. And we didn't have access to this end of turn DNA because we were playing the adventure package. Okay, well, that sucks. That doesn't work. Is there a way that maybe like we could like switch out some of the cards, that way we can get these guys out for cheaper? And it's like, maybe there's no card that plays out level 6s so cheaply other than Zwart, and Zwart would play out these 2 for cheap. And mind you, once you get these 2 out, you kind of win the game too. The problem now is getting to Zwart, and there's a lot of issues that we have currently. And it's like, oh, just use Megadramon to get to Zwart. Okay, but again, one of the better packages right now is Megatron. It's like the Guilmon package. Okay, you cycle a lot, you search a lot, and you gain a lot of memory, and you have a lot of like just bodies on field recursion. Okay, great. There's no shot in hell that unless we're like giga set up, we get into a Zwart, because we would need a training, and then another training, and then a memory boost. So we need 2 trainings, a memory boost, and the full line. And then we would also need for the Megadra not to die in check, and also for it not to kill itself with its own effect, which is like impossible. So it's like, okay, well, we just play different 6. It's like, maybe, that's true. Okay, so you play the whole bottom end package. On deletion, you know, you get a bunch of stuff, and then you get you travel up, you get the 2 level 6s in trash, you play them out using the Zwart, and you pass turn with a Crest, a Blitz, and a Zwart. And then your opponent swings in with a 13k body and kills you, and you can't do anything about it, and you die. You get sent to hell. And that's kind of just what my experience with these 2 cards have been. Is that in matchups where they try to beat you in battle, they really do. They really do be beating you in battle. There's not much you can do about it. Against like other like lower tier strategies like tier 3, tier 2, we stand an insanely good chance. Like we are, I don't want to say favored in those matchups, which sucks, but I think we have like it's a good game. Like I have a great game against like my friends whenever we're playing. They're playing like Gaiomon, or they're playing even Pyldramon. I have like a fine matchup against. But the current meta just does not care. They can kill you by battle, or they can kill you by effect. They will do one or the other. It does not matter to them. It just does not matter to them. And against that Megadramon game, it's like, oh, but like, imagine you have Blitzgray and Crestgroom on Ace, okay? That you let them swing with the Megadra, and then you DNA into Alter S, okay? End of attack. It'll leave both of our bodies. Ours triggers as interruptive. Theirs also on deletion also triggers. So they play out the Gil, and they play out both of their Gils, and then we go Alter S. That's great. They still gain like 4 memory. With like a Gravity Crush in hand, they play out the rookie. We don't have blocker anymore. It's just a guy on field, and we die. We also have no way of making use of level 6s. Let's say they swing in with like a 13k Megadra, and instead of swinging security to just deal 2 checks and then deal a 3rd check with the on deletion effect, and then letting their whole board of rookies get wiped, what if they just swing into the crests or the blitz with the raid? Yeah, they don't do 2 checks, but they still get a check off the security. They delete the blitz, they delete the crest, they gain 8 memory from overflow, they gain 2 memory from their on deletions, then they play out 2 level 3s, so now they're at 10 memory with 2 level 3s, both of them probably having rush, or at least one of them having rush and one of them having the surge power, and we're also wiped. So even if they can't kill us from 10 memory with 2 rushing Digimon on field, what are we going to do on the crackback? What are we going to do on the crackback? We're dead on the crackback. We're fucked on the crackback. It's like, oh, we have Zord. It's like, okay, cool. He's going to do a check, and then that's it. And it's just so disheartening. And I'm looking at the BT22 stuff. Shout out for a video next week about the whole set as I go over it for the fucking hour, 2 hour and a half video that it always is. And I just don't see that changing from what little I saw. Maybe there's some like cards I don't know about. I know that they evo for 6 on top of their respective bodies, which is cool. It's like a 2 memory reduction. It's like basically having a Tamer out and another Greymon or the Garurumon respective body out, you know, to proc it, which is great. That's cool. I'm just not seeing it. This rookie sucks ass, dude. Start your main phase? Why? If it was an on-play, at least it would have some justification. I know the new Agumon is an on-play, which is cool. And I know the new Agumon is a searcher, which is cool. So now we have 2 searchers. We have this searcher, and we have the Agumon searcher. Both of them are cool. I like them. And the rookie is Ken and Davis, which is cool. I just don't see the vision, team. I don't see the vision. I just don't. And I'm sorry to say, I'm trying so hard to find something that could make this deck work, because this card is insane. This card is insane. It literally says win the game. They gave a card to this deck that says, hey, we understand. You haven't been winning the game with Omni Ace. And Omni X hasn't been doing it either. So here's an Omnimon that just says win the fucking game. And it's still not enough, because I can't get to it consistently enough. I can't get to it. Playing out 2 8-cost level 6s is so difficult. Playing out 1 8-cost level 6 and keeping turn is so hard. Because you need the Agumon. You need the Agumon. It doesn't matter which Agumon if you're keeping turn. You just need an Agumon, which is easy. I know we're only playing 7, but I've never in the testing or in this tournament had a problem with finding an Agumon. The problem was finding these 2 and one of these, or some combination of these. And it's like, well, maybe just cut down on like the Blitz and put in one of these, or maybe cut down the Crest and put in an extra one of these. And it's like, yeah, but it's not good. And it's like, okay, well then add an extra Metal Garurumon. There's no other Metal Garurumon that does exactly this. In B22 there will be, and maybe we can just like play like 4 of Metal War Gray, Metal Guru, and like, yes, there we go. And now we're just playing here, and then we just play memory boosts and Wisterias, and we say go. Turn start, memory boost. Okay, turn start, memory boost. Turn start, memory boost. Okay, our opponent has put us to like 0 security, but it's okay because now we've got like 6 effective memory. We promote the Agumon. It gains, it's like the start of main phase, gain a memory Agumon. We pop all of the memory boosts. We gain 6 memory, putting us to 8. We play out this Metal Garurumon for 11. And we pass turn. We need a tamer out. And there was never a scenario, even for 3 turns straight, of doing just a memory boost every turn. They're trying to play out a tamer. We have no way to cheat out a tamer. We have no objective way to cheat out a tamer. Gosh. And guess what? The Nokia is 5 cost. Okay, listen, I'm sorry. I really downed the mood for the last like couple minutes of this video, which I am sorry for. Genuinely, I still think the deck is cool. I think the deck is fun. It's just, whenever you get used to playing good decks and trying your best to win and like finding some really cool synergies, when you see something so powerful that you know there's something here. I felt the exact same way with Hero, and I'm glad that someone else figured out how to work Hero, okay? Because I knew there was something there, I just couldn't figure it out. Same thing happens here. I know there's something here. I just don't know what it is, and I don't know how to make it work. And I was really hoping to get it to work before BT22, but I think it's time for me to put the deck down and wait 10 days for the new cards to come out. Once those new cards come out, things will change. There will be changes to the list, there will be changes to the deck, we will have some searchers, we'll have some ability to kind of do things. The 6 cost Evos matter a lot. The Nokia playing out the free rookie for searching matters a lot. There's a lot of things that do matter a lot in this deck. However, I'm not sold. And there's a lot of cool stuff in BT22. I will try out the deck because I spent some fucking money buying the cards. And I still think it's really cool. I just don't see a world where these and this make it into the new list. Maybe I'm wrong. We will find out whenever I do the review of the BT22 cards, because I haven't read a lot of the stuff, including what the new Metal Garurumon and the War Greymon do specifically. All I know is they Evo for 6 if you have a Nokia. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I'm sorry for the downer part of this video, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.